Cool. Yeah, can anyone hear me? Cool, yeah.
Can you hear Laura?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, very clear. April is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, and this season Hampton and Richmond are proud to be partnered with Movember to raise awareness for the most common cancer among young men in the UK.
As players for Hampton and Richmond, we always talk to keep our eye on the ball. So this year we want to join Movember in emphasising how important it is to keep an eye on yours. And the best place to do this is simply in the shower.
We shower together with the rest of the lads after every game. There's not a big ask to do a simple check. About once a month we'll do it, and you can get to know what feels normal for you.
And then, if you do notice a change or something doesn't quite feel right, just head on down to your GP and get a consultation from your doctor. No embarrassment, no great shakes. It's nice and simple.
Know thy balls.
Sorry, look, wait, like it's know thy nuts.
What's Know Thy Nuts got to do with football?
Nothing. It's the Movember campaign for testicular cancer.
Yeah, we know that, but with football players.
No, yeah, know thy nuts is just the name of the campaign.
Alright, fine. Get to know your pair by visiting movember.com/know thy nuts. Alright, on three, guys. 1, 2, 3. Know thy nuts.
Nice balls.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this Vanarama National League South tie as Hampton and Richmond take on Taunton Town here at the Beverley Stadium. And before we get into things about today's match, and just from that clip we've just seen there, shout out to Sam, Wishy and Louis for taking part in that video in collaboration with Movember for Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. I think they've both been in, all three of them in fact have been in conversation with Channing Tatum about being included in the next Magic Mike movie, I believe. So once again, thank you very much to Sam, Louis and Wishy for taking part in that. Earlier in the week, Louis Fell caught up with our manager Mel Gwinnett to talk about today's match.
So Mel, our next game comes this Saturday when we host Taunton Town. How's the preparation going?
Yeah, it's going well. All our players have been assessed from the weekend, obviously, and Monday we picked up one or two little injuries and niggles, but the good news is that most of them have been given a clear bill of health. We've got one or two we'll wait till sort of Saturday morning to make final decisions on, but other than that, no, all good. Obviously we're in training tonight. We've got a trial game in this afternoon, looking at players for next season, having a look at the youngsters being released and various things. So no, preparation for the game Saturday's going well. Should be a really, really good game.
Obviously a slightly difficult Easter bank holiday weekend. Any key takeaways from that?
Yeah, I think that you go into Easter and you know a couple of wins really cement you in there. A couple of defeats sort of make it harder for you. And unfortunately, we only picked up 1 point, so we've made it harder for ourselves. But it's still in our hands. 5 games to go. We've got games in hand on people, but I'd much rather have points on the board than games in hand, to be brutally honest. But at the same time, it's still in our hands. So we go Saturday, and we've got 3 home games now, and need to pick up as many points as we possibly can.
Obviously playing a Taunton side who've had a bit of trouble this season off the pitch, but on the pitch as well. Lots of games postponed, and they're playing, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays at the moment. So it'll be tough for them as well.
Oh, it's going to be very tough for them. I mean, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I think they're always a very, very good team. They're always very competitive. They're well coached, well organised. So it's not going to be a simple game. It's going to be a very, very tough game. They lost narrowly to Maidstone after playing again on Monday and then Wednesday. So they're a strong side. They'll be well organised, well structured, and they're going to test us in every area they can.
Absolutely, and 3 home games back to back now. It's an exciting opportunity to, hopefully finish the season strong. Yeah,
I think it's great. I mean, at the start of the season, if we'd have said we're going to the last 5 games in our own hands, 3 home games on the spin, we'd have all jumped at it and took it. And we're there. That's what we've created. The players done very, very well this season. They've had a great season so far. We've now got to try and finish that off. We're in a really, really strong position, much stronger than we were this time last year. And hopefully, with the home gates and the home crowds and the support behind us, it'll help us get over the line and into the playoffs.
It's 6th versus 22nd place in the Vanarama National League South this afternoon. But don't let Taunton Town's position in the table fool you. Taunton Town are desperately trying to stay in the league, whilst Hampton and Richmond look to really solidify themselves in the playoff positions this afternoon as they're looking for that promotion push. Earlier in the week, our young stars Josh and
Well, thank you, Johnny. This time last year, Hampton and Richmond were looking over their shoulders as they look to avoid relegation from the National League South. 4 games without a win now means the Beavers are looking over their shoulders again, but for a different reason, as a spot in the playoffs is at stake. On paper, today's opponents in Taunton Town seem ideal, but write these lot off at your peril. Yes, they're third from bottom. Yes, they've lost their last 6 games, but the stats don't always paint a full picture. In that barren run of defeats, they've pushed some of the Beavers' promotion rivals the whole way, only losing in the final seconds to Chelmsford City. And in their last outing, they only lost to a late goal against Maidstone. They also inflicted a 3-0 defeat on Torquay last month, somewhere the Beavers left empty-handed a fortnight ago. This may not look like it, but this is a season-defining clash for both Hampton and Richmond and Taunton Town, just for different reasons. Joining us for this potentially nerve-shredding encounter at the Stadium this afternoon is Sports Journalism Associate Award winner, Laura Howard. How are you, Laura?
Thank you for having me, Jackson. I appreciate the glowing intro.
Oh, it's a very fine achievement, Laura. You shouldn't be modest about it. I certainly wouldn't if I was even nominated for one of those. So well done to you. I'll take you through the team news to start with. Mel Gwinnett, he's made 5 changes to the Hampton and Richmond side that lost 2-0 against Worthing on Monday. That includes a return to the starting 11 for our top scorer, Ben Seymour, after a 4-game absence. So from the top, the team news is Adam Debois in goal. Then it's Jordan Thomas, Rory Donaldson, Dean Inman, Ben Seymour, Captain Jake Gray, Sam Deadfield, George Hunt, Isaac Pitblado, Mason Bloomfield and Dominic Ravan. The substitutes are Rob Hall, the returning Alfie Whittingham, more on him later, Shane Dunn, Alex Gibson-Hammond and Josh Anapawos. As for Taunton, it's Dan Lavacombe in goal. Then it's Zach Bell, Dan Gall, Ollie Chamberlain, their captain Lloyd James, Nat Jarvis, Ben Acey, Rabbi Tamoon Zamba, Ross Stern, Cameron Evans, Callum Dolman, and then the substitutes are Marcus Day, Seb Bolton, Jaden Groan and Evander Grubb. Referee today is Matthew Jackson and his assistants are John Perry and Christopher Poole. So just looking at the Hampton and Richmond lineup there, Laura, what stands out to you? As I mentioned, 5 changes made by Mel Gwinnett this afternoon.
Yeah, for me, I'm really looking forward to the returns of Seymour and Hunt. Obviously, Hunt getting his first start since that injury that ruled him out for a while. And like you said, Seymour returning. I think they're both really exciting people to have back in the squad and both crucial to our really good run earlier in the season. And then also, yeah, just I think a strong lineup. Obviously, Louis Fernandez missing, another potentially key player who's out today, but we've got a really strong squad depth at the moment, and I think maybe something that stands out to me is the fact that I don't feel particularly worried even though one of our key players is out today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Louis Fernandez pulling up with a little injury against Worthing at the start of the second half. Remains to be seen how long he'll be out for, but he will not be involved today. And as for George Hunt, this is his first start since our defeat to Braintree on January the 6th, and he went on a very, very good run at the start of his Hampton and Richmond career. He was unbeaten in his first 14 games, and well, if Hampton and Richmond go unbeaten in 14, then this could be a very exciting end to the season indeed. Now, before the teams come out and we dive into Hampton and Richmond, I thought we could just talk about the women's game for a bit. It was the Conti Cup final last weekend between Chelsea and Arsenal. Arsenal emerging the victors, and you were actually there, Laura, as a fan. There was quite a lot of talking points from it.
Yeah, it was indeed. It ended 0-0, and for a game that ended 0-0 at full time, obviously it went on to be 1-0 in extra time by Estina Blackstenius. But for a game that was 0-0 in normal time, it certainly did have its share of talking points. I think obviously thoughts remain with Frida Mornham, who collapsed on the pitch, but said to be doing well and no obvious cardiac problems at the moment. But I think probably the key talking point out of it was the Emma Hayes-Jonas Eidevall clash on the sidelines, which added a bit of fire to the occasion. I think it was a slight push from Hayes on the sideline. I'm sure you'll probably have seen it better than I did.
Yeah, I saw it in real time on the TV and I was shocked. I'd never seen Emma Hayes do anything like that before, and her afterwards, her accusing the Arsenal manager of male aggression. That may not have been the best choice of words from her, but of course she was angry about Chelsea not having their quadruple chances ruined that afternoon. But yeah, the women's game, very exciting at the moment. We are now approximately just under 5 minutes away from kickoff. As I mentioned, Taunton Town, they're not to be underestimated. They are third from bottom. A win for them, and that could take them out of the relegation zone should other results go their way. But, well, Laura, you were commentating in the reverse fixture out in the West Country. So, yeah, what was the game like, and what should we be wary of from a Hampton and Richmond perspective?
I think it was a really mature performance that day out from Hampton and Richmond. Mason Bloomfield got an early goal, a superb goal, I think in about 4 minutes, and then from there on in it was a case of sit back and defend for Hampton and Richmond, and they did so well. It was a vintage performance from the Inman-Fernandez pairing that did so well early on in the season. A real kind of summation of just how well those two can work together. The main threats on that day from Taunton came from wingers, both overlapping and some really good crosses coming in, but they couldn't convert those crosses or those chances on that day in particular, and it ended up 1-0 to Hampton and Richmond, and honestly came away thinking, you know what, this is a team that can fight for playoffs because they've got that defensive performance in them and they're not going to buckle to that late pressure. And here we are now. Yeah, exactly. Well, that win was Hampton Richmond's third win on the bounce in that 17-game unbeaten run earlier in the season. As I'm sure you can hear from that Thunderbirds countdown in amongst the howling wind at Beverley. You can see or hear both teams are now making their way out onto the pitch. Hampton and Richmond are wearing their navy blue kit this afternoon, navy blue shirt, navy blue shorts and navy blue socks. Meanwhile, Taunton, they're in a all-white strip with slight sky blue stripes along the side of the shirts and the shorts. Just a quick reminder of what the state of play is regarding Hampton and Richmond's promotion push. At kickoff, they are in 6th place. They're 2 points above Farnborough and Aveley, who are just outside the playoffs in 8th and 9th. So a defeat today, and there's a real risk of falling out of the playoffs. It's 2nd until 7th who qualify for the playoffs. If win today, they won't actually move up the table, but Worthing are playing, Worthing who are 5th, they're playing Yeovil Town, the runaway leaders at the top. So if they drop points there, Hampton Richmond do have a game in hand on Worthing, so there is an opportunity to move above Worthing further down the line, but they won't be thinking about that. Mel Gwinnett's men right now will all be about just getting the 3 points and solidifying their place in 6th spot. Now, just in front of us there is the returning Alfie Whittingham, who has been recalled from his loan spell at Havant and Waterlooville earlier this season. He got a couple of goals in his spell down on the south coast, but it's a good time to expand the squad with just 5 games left remaining this season. Yeah, for sure, and I think it was a great loan initiative in the sense that he's gone away, he's remained match fit, and he's kept those minutes in the bank. And he's been an integral part of a squad that is battling, obviously, relegation at the moment, but really nice to see him back and have him as an option on our bench today. Yeah, I'm just looking at Ben Seymour now. We have missed him in these 4 games, winless in 4 games, Hampton and Richmond, and his last appearance was in that 1-1 draw at home to Welling. He actually got the assist for Jake Gray's equaliser. So Ben Seymour, he's not only Hampton and Richmond's top scorer of the season, he's also top of the assist charts with 8 to his name. And we won't see this every day. Hampton and Richmond will be kicking towards the Alan Simpson OBE stand in this first half. They tend to kick towards there in the second half. So Taunton must have won the toss there. Wondering if this is a wind influence change. That's a very good point, so actually. Might not want to be kicking into the wind, whichever team got to decide. Yeah, the wind is coming in sort of our direction, so heading towards the Keith Hussey stand, which is the end which Taunton are shooting towards in this first half. So that's probably it's probably not the trying to win the psychological battle, which is often the reason behind making the home team shoot at the end that they'll like to shoot at the second half in the first half.
The referee is now conducting his final checks. It's Jake Gray who is stood over the ball at kickoff. The manager for Taunton, Rob Dre, just giving a final few words of encouragement to his players. Away we go at Beverley Stadium. Hampton and Richmond against Taunton Town in the National League South. A huge game for both sides. Hampton and Richmond looking to continue their promotion charge, while Taunton Town are in a relegation dogfight as the ball is flicked towards number 13, Ross Stern, but he was quite comfortably offside, so he let it go to Adam Dewar, who rolls it quickly out to John Thomas, who's starting at left back today. That is a bit of a surprise. Typically a right back, Hampton Richmond's number 2. Here's Isaac Bitt-Blada, who's filling in at centre back, clips it towards Bloomfield. It's headed away, only as far as Thomas, but he then gives it away. Dean Inman with his first touch. It's a bit of a loose one. Plays it straight to a Taunton player. Now it's Ross Stern on the left. Inman is the one stood over him. And he gets the tackle in, Inman. Stern does get it back and tries to play it back to Zach Bell, but it's gone out of play for a throw-in to Hampton and Richmond on the Hampton Richmond right.
It's been a positive start for Taunton, but nothing really to scare the Beavers at this point. Both attacks looking quite tame so far and not really being able to link much together.
It's Dominic Ravan who sat out our defeat at Worthing on Monday. He's back in the starting 11 after picking up a little injury in our Good Friday draw at home to Tunbridge. Inman trying to find Seymour with a long ball, but it's headed away, and now Taunton are on the attack, giving it away though, and that wind is really catching the ball. Oh, a bit of a late collision there on Adam Dewar. He is not happy with number 9, Nat Jarvis. The referee does allow play to go on. Adam Dewar still looking very upset there. It was an incredibly late challenge there. Anyway, Hampton and Richmond are on the attack with Seymour. Plays it to Rory Donaldson, another player who sat out the game against Worthing. Now is Jake Gray. Great pass inside to Seymour. Now here's Bloomfield. Back to George Hunt. About midway into the Taunton half. Ball on the left with Donaldson. Plays it back to Hunt. Got Thomas in support and uses him down the line. It's back to Hunt. And Donaldson does well there because Hunt's pass was initially cut out. Hunt has it again. He's given it away though to number 12, Talman Zamba. But his attempt to kick it down the line goes straight out of play. So Hampton and Richmond have themselves a throw-in on the left-hand side, about midway into Taunton's half.
Really feels like the return of Hunt and potentially Seymour there has just allowed a real quick passing game, and with Gray in the middle there, a bit more than we've seen perhaps in recent weeks with Hampton and Richmond.
Thomas throws it to Bloomfield, who chests it down. He was tackled, but he managed to get it back to Thomas. Now here's Sam Deadfield, plays out right to Ravan. Goes inside and plays out right to Jake Gray. Crosses it first time, it's blocked, and it's got out of play for a corner kick to Hampton and Richmond on the right-hand side. Jake Gray considering taking a quick corner, but Dean Inman just holding his hand up, telling him, wait for me to make the run in there. Dean Inman is certainly a candidate likely to get his head on the ball. Already got 4 goals this season. Mason Bloomfield is, of course, in there. Rory Donaldson and Pip Blado also. Seymour is stood on the Taunton goalkeeper, Lavacombe. It's going to be Sam Deadfield who takes it. It's at the near post, headed away by Jarvis. And he should get it out to Stern. That's a good layoff to Taunton number 12, Talman Zamba, on the right-hand side. Inside Hampton and Richmond's half. Now the ball is with James, who crosses it first time. Oh, and it's not cleared away fully. It kind of rebounded off Jordan Thomas and gratefully into the arms of Adam Dewar. A slightly hairy moment there for Hampton and Richmond.
Yeah, certainly was. It went into Ross Stern, and you'd hope Hampton and Richmond might have cleared it there, but it found its way through, and it was a scruffy clearance, but they did manage to get it under control in the end.
Rory Donaldson plays it to Ben Seymour. Now it's out left with Jordan Thomas, just outside Taunton's penalty boxes, behind Seymour. Donaldson has it, tries to let it back to Hunt, goes through a crowd. Here's Deadfield first time. Shot is blocked by James. And then it's hoofed away by Taunton. Hampton Richmond will come again though. It's Isaac Pitblado just inside Hampton and Richmond's half. Plays a short pass to Deadfield. Now Pitblado playing in at centre back with both Louis Fernandez and Sam Dreyer out injured. Desbois pings it forward towards Bloomfield. And the ball might hold up there. Well, that was number 5 for Taunton. Dan Gore had to just head it out of play, and Hampton Richmond take the throw in quickly. It's with Ben Seymour just outside the Taunton box. Now Thomas, and here's Deadfield who'll cross it first time. It's a good cross. Bloomfield gets the header. It is pretty comfortably over the bar, but that was good play there by the Beavers.
Hampton and Richmond looking really dangerous every time they do get forward. That cross looked perfect, and it wasn't anyone else you'd prefer to be there than Mason Bloomfield, but just couldn't quite get on top of it and send it over on that occasion.
Yeah, it was approximately this time when Bloomfield opened the scoring at Taunton in the reverse fixture. But no such luck this time. 0-0, just over 5 minutes played at Beverley Stadium.
Remains 0-0 in all the other games happening in the National League South as well.
Yeah, we'll be giving you updates, particularly surrounding the games that will affect Hampton and Richmond, the likes of Aveley and Bath City in action. Well, every team in the division is in action. Jarvis with a bit of a heavy challenge there on Pitblado, who's holding his nose there down on the ground. He is on his knees, but I think he'll just need a bit of time to recover. I think that was a little bit naughty from the number 9 for Taunton. But the referee hasn't seen anything, so it is a throw-in to the away side.
Feels like there's been a couple of those incidents now, and you'd hope the referee would just keep an eye on Jarvis there. He obviously made that contact with Desbois earlier in the game, which I'd have said should have been a yellow card had it happened at any other point in the game if it wasn't that early.
But play will go on. It's Zach Bell taking this throw-in. He launches it into the penalty area. It's headed up, still in that danger zone. And the referee has spotted an infringement by the troublemaker that is Nat Jarvis. So it is a free kick to Hampton and Richmond just outside the 6-yard box. So it's going to be Adam Desbois who takes it.
Nat Jarvis obviously does have experience. He's a international player for Antigua and Barbuda, having made his international debut back in 2014. Certainly brings some experience to this pitch. At the moment, he's using it potentially for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. And now Seymour collects the ball, tries to find Rory Donaldson on the left. It was Bloomfield who managed to get a flick on. Some of the Taunton players were insisting Bloomfield won the header illegally. Referee wasn't interested, although Seymour's pass out left didn't amount to anything. So it is a throw-in to Taunton, deep into their half on the right-hand side. It's going to be taken by Callum Dolman, who got the Man of the Match award in their last outing, which was a 1-0 defeat at home to Maidstone. Taunton are on the attack, but Dominic Ravan gets there ahead of Bell and plays it back to Desbois. He's got a few options, but I think he's a bit unnerved by the wind almost. He plays it long though to Bloomfield, headed away by Gall. Now Inman tries to find Bloomfield. It's intercepted by Ben Acey. Now it's on the Taunton left with Bell. Acey again, just inside Taunton's half. Not too many options going forward, and he chips it out left to Bell, but it's got a bit too much on it, so it's gone straight out of play for a throw-in to Hampton and Richmond, about 20 yards into Hampton and Richmond's half.
Game is looking quite open at the moment. I think there is definitely goals on the cards here at the Beverley.
Ravan now tries to find Bloomfield. It's headed away by Bell, out for another throw-in to Hampton and Richmond. Ravan then throws it down the line again. Bloomfield sort of gets maybe a faint contact on the ball. John Thomas now has it, just plays a safe pass back to Desbois, who tries to play it early, and the wind just helping that out of play for a Taunton throw-in. We hate to go on about the conditions at the risk of sounding like a manager making excuses, but this is going to be a real factor this afternoon if it continues like this. bit of a scramble on that right flank. James plays it long to Jarvis, headed away by Pitblado. Pitblado now has it at his feet, plays it back to Desbois, who uses his left foot to play it long to Bloomfield, who takes it down very well, and Gray then plays Seymour in down the left-hand side, who's got time on the ball, he's got Donaldson in support. May not use him, he does use him. Donaldson will cross it first time, but it's just overhit over the likes of Bloomfield and out of play for a throw-in to Taunton Town.
Yeah, clear frustration there from Donaldson. He overhit that cross, but the control from Bloomfield in the build-up was absolutely superb. Just stopped the ball dead at his feet from quite a long pass, and certainly something and a reason why Hampton and Richmond do so often aim for him.
10 minutes played, Hampton and Richmond 0, Taunton Town 0. No major opportunities to speak of. Mason Bloomfield having something of a half chance, him heading just over the bar from just over 6 yards out from across on the left. And yeah, Bloomfield, 9 goals this season. His last one coming in our 2-1 win over Chippenham 4 weeks ago. And Ravan takes a throw in down the line. It goes over Bloomfield, and Gray is there to latch on to the loose ball. Tries to find Ben Seymour with an early pass, but it is cut out. And now it's back with Dan Lovercombe, who kicks it long towards Jarvis. Pitblado does well to get to the header first, and he's actually found Donaldson. Great nutmeg by Donaldson to Bloomfield, who is onside inside the Taunton penalty box, crosses it on the left. It's blocked and gone out of play for a throw-in to the Beavers. Be taken by Thomas on the left to Bloomfield, who returns it to him. Thomas tries to go around the outside, but he's got number 7, Chamberlain, blocking his run. Now Pitblado has it, he crosses it in. It's Ben Seymour! It's 1-0 to Hampton and Richmond. Well, Ben Seymour, it's good to have you back, sir. 4 games without him. There were no wins in that time, you're right, Laura. And, well, he's back in amongst the goals. His 16th goal of the season. Great cross in by Pitblado. There's an unmarked Ben Seymour at the near post. And it's Hampton and Richmond 1, Taunton Town 0.
Absolutely superb finish yet again from that man Ben Seymour, there at the post, exactly where you want him, at the near post and ready to finish. I was just going to update prior to that goal that Bath City have gone 1 goal ahead at home to Tunbridge Angels. That did put them momentarily above Hampton and Richmond into 6th place, but Hampton and Richmond have just put themselves back ahead, back into 6th place, and Bath City will drop back down.
Well, it can change very, very quickly. It must have been about 5 seconds before Ben Seymour's header nestled into that bottom corner. And yeah, as I mentioned, 16 goals this season for Seymour, 14 of them in the National League South. As the game now restarts, a ball played down the line towards Bell. Ravan is hassling him. Oh, and Bell has been flagged offside. So free kick to Hampton and Richmond.
More positive news for the Beavers as well. St Albans City are 1-0 down to Chippenham Town. They're playing them at home. St Albans City currently in 10th position on 64 points, so they could catch Hampton and Richmond, but they are 1-0 down currently.
Well, everything is looking a bit more rosy as it was than it was a few moments ago. And it's well, Ross Stern is telling the referee that he feels Adam Desbois has taken a little bit too long to take this free kick, but I don't think he is at all, really. And Desbois now plays it long towards Bloomfield, heads it on. Rory Donaldson might be in here. Rory Donaldson, real chance, and he's put it over the bar. Well, a bit of a wild finish there by Hampton and Richmond's Flying Scotsman. And, well, to be honest, it really should be 2-0 to the Beavers there.
I think that was one of those chances where you're in the clear and you have that pressure to finish. He certainly should have buried that one, but he was being chased very closely by the Taunton defender, and with the wind against you, there's all those considerations to think of, and I think he just snatched at that one at the last minute.
Yeah, 4 goals this season for Rory Donaldson. In this fixture last season, it was a 3-1 win to Hampton Richmond, and Rory Donaldson actually scored twice that afternoon, so he couldn't make it 1 for today, but there's still plenty of time, just coming up to 15 minutes. Hampton Richmond, a goal to the good, thanks to Ben Seymour's header, as Taunton are now on the attack with number 7, Chamberlain, but he's dispossessed by George Hunt, and Ben Seymour is taken down there by Callum Dolman. About 10 yards into Hampton and Richmond's half. Referee isn't looking to go in his notebook just yet. And now the Hampton and Richmond players are accusing number 7, Chamberlain, of trying to prevent their free kick from being taken quickly.
It's a lovely touch from Seymour to win that. Just saw the defender on his shoulder, touched it round him on the turn, and the defender could do nothing but take Seymour out there.
It's going to be Desbois who takes the free kick, and his long balls have been pretty good so far this afternoon. He'll no doubt be aiming for the likes of Bloomfield. Instead, he clipped out left to Thomas, but the wind actually caught that one quite a lot there, so it's gone straight out of play for a throw-in to the away side. To be taken by the offender for foul on Seymour, Dolman, who throws it down the line towards Jarvis, who's been doubled up on. Jarvis won the header anyway. Now Stern. His header is met by Dean Inman, and Inman's clearance almost hitting us up there in the gantry. Out for a throw-in to Taunton. It'll be taken by Dolman again, who takes a few steps forward and throws it down the line. It's headed away by a combination of 2 Hampton and Richmond players. Taunton are in possession again. Dolman just punts it in towards the penalty box. Deanon with a diving header. Seymour gets onto the loose ball. He's been a live wire this afternoon. Tries to find his strike partner, Bloomfield, but Dolman is there first. And he puts it out of play for a throw-in to Hampton and Richmond. Taken by Jordan Thomas back to his goalkeeper. It's a short pass out to the left of central area in Pitblado. Ball is now back with Desbois. And he plays it long in the direction of Bloomfield, who chests it down, shrugging off Dolman, but he's then well tackled there by AC. But the ball down the line of the Taunton right is loose, so Pitblado will retrieve it. Just plays it back to Desbois. And
Worthing have gone 1-0 up at Yeovil, which is potentially a shock result, but it is Ollie Pearce.
Oh, the deadly Ollie Pearce. He couldn't score any against Hampton and Richmond, but Worthing did get the better of the Beavers on Monday. 2-0 win for them. Now Thomas has the ball on the left-hand side. He may cross it. It's a low cross. It was blocked and then cleared away by Chamberlain. Pitblado heads it back in. Donaldson gets to the second ball first, back to Deadfield, but it's an awkward bouncing ball. And now Taunton are on the attack on the right with Jarvis. One of their players, AC, is down on the ground, but Taunton continue their attack. It's with Tabu Zamba. And now Ben Seymour has it. Oh, he might have been clipped there by number 5, Gall, but play does go on. It's now been put out of play for a throw-in to Hampton and Richmond. About 10 yards into Taunton's half on the left. So makeshift left back Thomas is going to take it. He's got Donaldson and Deadfield and Bloomfield showing for support. And he throws it long towards Bloomfield, who has 2 players around him. Ball goes beyond everyone there. George Hunt does well to win it back. His pass to Jake Graves, just a touch loose. So now Taunton are looking to mount an attack. Great challenge there by Dean Inman on number 11, Ben AC. Now the ball is with Deadfield. And now Donaldson on the left. Deadfield again, clips it long towards Ben Seymour, who might be in, but it's just a bit too far in front of him. And it's an easy gather for Dan Lovercombe.
I've said it before, but Ben Seymour's looking so strong today. It's almost like he's come back from a bit of time off, obviously through injury, but come back with a new pair of shoes, and it's just looking so much more lively and really instigating those runs and passes in the middle.
Absolutely. We can see down in front of us Shane Dunn and Josh Anafawos doing a light warm-up. I don't think Mel Gwinnett is thinking of making any changes, and there's Alfie Whittingham running down the touchline as well. Shane Dunn actually celebrated his birthday on Thursday, so many happy returns to him, and Shane Dunn's family are often listening in when matches are being played, so if you are the Dunn clan, hello there. Ball is now in the hands of Adam Desbois. He's telling his players to move up the pitch. I don't think he's interested in throwing it out. Ross Stern is just standing in front of him, and Desbois, he's a bit upset with himself there, just grunting in frustration as the ball goes out of play for a Taunton throw in about 15 yards into their half on the right. So there's 20 minutes played now. Hampton and Richmond 1, Taunton Town 0. That goal scored in the 12th minute by Ben Seymour is all that separates the two sides today. Now Hampton and Richmond have their own throw-in. It's with Jordan Thomas. Plays it to Bloomfield, who is being doubled up on every time now. There is a possibility of a long ball being played. It's gone out of play again, the ball, for another throw-in to Hampton and Richmond on the left. Should be taken by Thomas. Throws it down the line towards Ben Seymour. It's ricocheted in favour of Rory Donaldson. Plays it into Jake Gray. It's just too far in front of Hampton and Richmond's captain, so Zach Bell will be there to retrieve him. He's done very well. He's taken Ravan and Deadfield out of the game. He plays it to Ben Acey, but Acey overran it, and it's now a throw-in to Hampton and Richmond on the halfway line, or maybe a couple of yards behind, as the referee orders Dominic Ravan to take a few steps back.
A brilliant chance just up this end. Donaldson breaking through and squaring it for Gray, but it was, yeah, as you said, just a little too much in front. But to find that pass in the first place, I think he did really well, and a shame it couldn't quite connect.
Taunton now on the attack with Stern. He plays it outright to Chamberlain. He's got captain James in support and does use him. James feinted across and then tried a through ball, but there wasn't really anyone in support, so Deadfield was there to intercept it. And now he plays it down the line towards Bloomfield, who gets there first, but unfortunately his header goes out of play for a throw-in to Taunton on the Taunton right. Ball is thrown down the line, headed on by Jarvis. Inman is there to collect the loose ball. And Inman is required again, uses his left foot, the wind catching it a bit there, so it's not fully cleared away. Piplado then does the job with his right foot. Taunton have it back though with their captain, Lloyd James. Clips it to Stern, who controls it well, but then he's tackled by Inman. He's made some great challenges so far. Hampton Richards number 4. Now it's a long ball to Seymour, and it's an awkward one for Callum Dolman, who's done pretty well there, considering Seymour was lurking behind him, but he only put it out for a throw-in to Hampton Richards about midway into Taunton's half on the left.
Superb vision by Gray there, just to loft that ball over the top and spot the run of Seymour. He might have been assisted by the wind just to bring that back towards Seymour there, but it was well dealt with by the Taunton defender.
It's now with Jordan Thomas. He's tackled. Another throw-in to Hampton Richmond on the left. Thomas takes it quickly, finding Seymour, who's inside the Taunton box, crosses it with his left foot, almost finds Bloomfield. Now Ravan may have a chance, takes a shot, almost spilled by the goalkeeper, and then Dolman is forced to put it out of play for a corner. Well, a bit of an unexpected chance. Dominic Ravan did not catch that shot, but it was nearly 2-0.
Certainly was. Trickled towards the goal, and then couldn't quite catch that one. I don't know if he was offsighted, the Taunton goalkeeper Lavicum, or not, but it certainly nearly looked like that was going to trickle into the net.
Hampton Richmond still have a chance here. It's a corner on the left-hand side. It'll be taken by Jake Gray. Sam Deadfield is showing for a short corner, but there are plenty of bodies in the boxes. Gray swings it in. It's Inman, just misses it, and so does Piplado. Piplado might be there to retrieve it. He's barged to the ground there by number 17, Cameron Evans. Amazingly, that wasn't a free kick. It looked more like a push in the back rather than a shoulder-to-shoulder barge.
Certainly looked like a free kick to me. He just got all the player and none of the ball, but there we are.
Yeah, sometimes in this division you do wonder about certain decisions, but it is a hard job being a referee, and the referee has decided it's just a throw-in to the away side on the left, and it's thrown long there by Bell. The wind certainly helping that go into Hampton and Richmond's half. Again, good defending by Inman to tackle Stern, and now the ball is back with Desbois, who kicks it long towards Seymour, but it's over Seymour's head. Dolman then hooks it high in the air. Deadfield was challenged by both Stern and Acey there, but Deadfield still managed to win the header. Only put it out of play though for a throw-in. Deadfield telling the referee he was fouled there. But again, the referee letting that one go. Dolman throws it down the line on the right. Deadfield gets to the header first. Now Dolman again. And here's Ball. Not seen a lot of him. That's a great ball from Ball out to, I'm so sorry about that, to Zach Bell, but Zach Bell didn't quite control it, so it's gone out of play for a throw-in to Hampton and Richmond on the right, deep into the Hampton and Richmond half.
Hampton and Richmond certainly have had control of this fixture so far today. It's been all the Beavers going forward, and we can hope they will continue that going into this one.
Yeah, coming up to 26 minutes, it's Hampton and Richmond 1, Taunton Town 0. That goal by Ben Seymour on 12 minutes is what gives Hampton and Richmond the lead. Dominic Revan just a couple of moments ago coming close to putting Hampton and Richmond 2 goals to the good. His rather scuffed effort was spilled by the goalkeeper Dan Lavacombe, but unfortunately for Hampton and Richmond, no one was there on the follow-up. As Pitblado gets his head on a long ball. Now Lloyd James tries to find Chamberlain on the right with a caressed ball, but it does go out of play for a throw-in to the Beavers. About midway into Hampton and Richmond's half. So it'll be taken by Jordan Thomas. His throw-in is met by James, and then there's a bit of an awkward bouncing ball, and Thomas couldn't quite take it down, so it's a throw-in to the away side on the right. And here's Pitblado, who wins the ball and tries to find Bloomfield, but the away side are back in possession with James on the right. It's a good ball out of the outside of his boot to number 17, Evans. Now it's Rabi Talmin Zamba. He clips it out right. Again, the wind catching that, going straight out of play for a throw-in. Isaac Pitblado just telling Jordan Thomas to take his time before trying to find a teammate.
Certainly got to think that it's going to be harder on the players, for the wind today, constantly running into that to make the runs.
Nathan Bloomfield was held by 2 players. The ball is in Hampton and Richmond's possession though. It's Dominic Revan just in front of the centre circle, surely brought down there yet. That's a free kick to Hampton and Richmond, about 35 yards away from goal in a slightly right of central area. So the likes of Dean Inman and Isaac Pitblado are making their way towards the penalty box. It's going to be Jake Gray who takes it. Bloomfield, of course, in there, as is Ben Seymour. Seymour is looking menacing. Gray takes it at the back post, and Pitblado goes down there. I'm not sure there was enough contact, and the referee's not given a penalty or anything. It's a throw-in to Taunton Town. I think Gray's pass there was just a bit caught by these adverse weather conditions, which I feel like I'm talking about every minute, but it is a massive factor today. It's going to be Dolman who takes the throw and aiming towards Jarvis. Deadfield gets to the header first and finds Bloomfield though. Now Deadfield has on the left, Donaldson, Bloomfield, great passing by Hampton and Richmond, and then it's just intercepted by Bell. Bloomfield's pass to Seymour. Inman collects a loose ball and plays it quickly out right to Revan. Now here's Jake Gray. Revan again. Might go around the outside and try and dig out across. He does dig out across. Here's Seymour. Dummies it, Bloomfield. What a save, Bloomfield again! Oh, and it's gone wide. Oh, well, Hampton and Richmond are really knocking on the door. It was a great dummy there on the cross by Ben Seymour, and the ball fell to Bloomfield. His first time shot was well saved, and then it just came at an awkward height, and he couldn't direct it into the net. Great chance there for Hampton and Richmond.
Certainly feels like the Beavers should have been 2-0 up there. It almost looked like an open goal, bar Lavacum, who was stood there not really sure what to do or which angle to cover, but it was an awkward angle for Bloomfield on the rebound, and sadly he couldn't quite guide that one goalwards.
So 30 minutes at Beverley Stadium. Hampton Richmond well on top. Still only 1-0 up though. There's a Gray's long pass to Seymour, is well cut out there, but Gray blocks a long ball by James. Oh, and Hampton Richmond just couldn't quite keep hold of it and start another attack. Oh, Gray, good challenge there, and then he's caught by number 11, Ben AC, just inside Taunton's half. Jake Gray is still down on the ground. I don't think he's picked up a big injury, but it is one of those sore ones, which is agony for like 30 seconds to a minute, but he should be okay.
Taunton just look a bit out of ideas when they do get the ball to go forward at the moment. Hampton and Richmond pressing really well, and yeah, whatever Taunton are trying at the moment simply isn't working for them, and it's been all blue shirts flooding forward at the moment.
And there are a few of them forward now, Inman and Donaldson and Bloomfield. Looks like it's going to be Sam Deadford who takes this free kick, sorry. Jake Gray is now back on his feet, still moving a little gingerly, but as I said, I think he'll be okay. And a bit of a high five there with AC. Now Deadfield puts the ball in, but it's easily caught there by Dan Lavacombe. He looks to get an attack going quickly, but he slightly scuffed that clearance there. And now Hampton Richmond on the attack again with Bloomfield down the left. Still got it, Bloomfield. Great takedown by Bloomfield just outside the box. Donaldson now crosses it. Ben Seymour just over him, and Gray couldn't quite get there. Oh, Hampton and Richmond are looking pretty rampant at the moment, but still only 1-0 up. And now, well, Taunton are on the attack with Jarvis. Pitblado is holding him up. Now Hampton Richmond have been able to regroup, but Taunton are still on the ball on the left. It's with number 11, AC. Being held up by Ravan, and AC has to go back to Zach Bell. And then he goes all the way back to Dan Gall. Oh, and that's cut out by Deadfield, that attempted pass by Cameron Evans. Hampton Richmond now back in possession. Deadfield tries to find Bloomfield with an early pass. A bit too far in front of Bloomfield. And that was a very intricate pass by Evans to Gall. Now Jarvis, but he's tackled by George Hunt. And here's Deadfield. Now Thomas inside the centre circle. And here's Deadfield back to Dean Inman. And now he plays out right to Ravan. Oh, and Bloomfield may have been caught, but actually no, it was a good challenge there. So Taunton are back in possession about midway into their half, but it's an overhit pass out for a throw-in. I say it's out for a throw-in, it's actually a free kick. It's Sam Deadfield who's been penalised for a challenge on number 12, Rabbi Talman Zamba.
Taunton potentially finding their way a little bit back into this game with a little bit more possession in the last few minutes, but I think certainly the possession and the chances that Hampton and Richmond have been having, you'd want to see them start finishing some of them to get ahead and cement the advantage that they do have at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Since Ben Seymour broke the deadlock, Dominic Ravan has come close, as has Mason Bloomfield with a double chance, and there have also been a couple of half chances for Hampton Richmond. Jake Gray not quite getting onto a couple of good crosses from the left. And Taunton trying to start an attack, but they're stopped in their tracks by Jordan Thomas, who clears it down the line towards Ben Seymour, who's hassling Dolman well, and actually Ben Seymour's won a throw-in for Hampton Richmond, which is taken quickly to Bloomfield. That's great hold-up play, plays it back to Deadfield, and now here's Thomas, wins a 50-50 challenge. Hampton Richmond, they're just getting to all these second balls. This is great play from them. Deadfield now plays it, tries to play it out right, but it's ricocheted for Ben Seymour, about 25 yards away from Taunton's goal. Still has it, Ben Seymour. He's got Thomas and Donaldson's support. Instead he uses Deadfield, and his pass is deflected out of play for a throw into Hampton Richmond. It's taken quickly. Now here's Deadfield, Thomas. who finds Donaldson, who's got space inside the box. Acute angle, his cross is blocked, and then Taunton do get the ball away. Well, that's a good flick on by Stern to Jarvis on the halfway line. Not got a lot of support, but he does eventually find his teammate Stern. But he's been chased by Ravan. And yeah, Hampton have done very well there to regroup, just to stem the flow of Taunton's counter-attack. And Ravan does win the ball off Stern. Stern goes down looking for a free kick. Referee not interested. It's now with Rory Donaldson in the centre circle. Ben Seymour now has the ball. Tries to clip it towards Bloomfield. It's blocked. Deadfield collects the loose ball. Deadfield still has it. He's got Thomas on the left in space. And Thomas does have it just outside the penalty box. He crosses it with his left foot. It's over everyone. Jake Gray will retrieve it though. Gray crosses in. That's a good cross, but it's well caught by Lavacombe. Ben Seymour was lurking at the back post, and if Lavacombe didn't get it, it would have surely been 2-0 Beavers.
Just taking us all the way back to that chance that Donaldson had a cross. It was well blocked, but even the clearance when they do block it doesn't seem convincing from Taunton at the moment. Just struggling to clear it, taking it further into their box. And certainly, maybe something to comment on.
Well, yeah, this doesn't look good. Rory Donaldson has gone down on the ground. I think he was holding his left hip there. He did miss the game against Worthing with a back injury. So the physio, Dylan Hall, is just seeing to him. And there is I think a bit of a resigned look to Donaldson's demeanour. And this is an opportunity for both sets of players just to regroup with the managers, and I think Mel Gwinnett will be very, very happy with what he's seen in these opening 36 minutes.
Yeah, I think all he'll be asking from his players is to make the most of those chances. We've certainly seen them have some dominance in these opening periods, and it's just making that count now.
Donaldson is back on his feet. He is making his way off the pitch. Don't know yet if he's going to be substituted. It might be see how you feel until half-time before a change is made. Yeah, no sign of activity on the Hampton and Richmond bench so far, so it does look like Donaldson will come back. Although I say that Alex Gibson-Hammond has now taken a seat, so maybe a change will be made. We'll certainly let you know as and when we find out.
Nothing much to report on table-wise at the moment. All the scores, mostly as we have recently updated it, believes Hampton and Richmond remain in 6th at the moment on 71 points. 4 points below their nearest rivals, Maidstone United, but with a game in hand.
Play has restarted. Jarvis is actually inside the Hampton-Richmond box, takes the shot. Oh, and that was very, very close for the away side. A massive chance for them. It was a cross-come shot by Jarvis. He couldn't quite find his teammate Ross Stern. And, well, in the blink of an eye, Hampton and Richmond were nearly on level terms, undeservedly.
I think it is just a warning to Hampton and Richmond to not get complacent, not feel like they are the ones on top in this match when there is so much potential at the other end for Taunton Town to get back into this one.
Rory Donaldson is back on the pitch, by the way, so he is fine to continue for now as Taunton win themselves a free kick. Bloomfield actually went down, but he's the one who has been penalised. It's a free kick to Taunton on their left, about 10 yards into Hampton and Richmond's half. It'll be taken by their captain, Lloyd James. He clips it in, headed by Bloomfield, only as far out as a corner kick though, to the away side on the right-hand side. Well, this is a decent spell for Taunton. They had a chance just a minute ago through Jarvis out-muscling Pip Blado and firing a cross-come shot in. Fortunately for Hampton Richmond, there were no Taunton players in the background ready to tap it in. But there's a chance here. It's clipped in on the right. Oh, and it's met by a Taunton head. I think it was number 5, Dan Gall. It did go comfortably wide of goal, but it was just a a touch too easy there for the away side.
Yeah, I think that break-in play might have actually helped Taunton more than Hampton and Richmond, just allowed them to break the momentum of the Beavers and get back into the game a little bit, but still not too convincing up front from Taunton, given they have had two pretty good chances and not managed to finish them off.
Yeah, we're coming up to 40 minutes. It's Hampton and Richmond 1, Taunton Town 0. Minus this good spell for Taunton, it has really been all Hampton and Richmond ever since Ben Seymour put them in front. There's Thomas, who now takes it for an aiming for Bloomfield, but Taunton win the header. But Bloomfield now has it. He's been flagged offside though. Ben Seymour just flicking on with the head, and Bloomfield not quite timing his run there. So it's a free kick to Taunton just outside their own box. Thank you to those who are tuning in to our YouTube watch along, by the way. It's a good result so far for Hampton and Richmond. There's a goal kick. Well, actually, it's a free kick now to the Beavers. It's Isaac Pitblado who's down on the ground.
There's another attempt from Nat Jarvis, and there's a bit of frustrations here from both sides, I think.
Yeah, especially Adam Desbois. I think he must have seen what happened there, and the referee is just taking his time. Now he's having a conversation with number 9, Nat Jarvis. Lloyd James, the captain, and also Hampton and Richmond's captain, is stood nearby. No card though. Yeah, referee yet to dish out a yellow or a red card, but he is telling James to talk to his striker. I think that is a one more of those, Jarvis, and you're gonna get yellow carded. Anyway, Desbois will take the free kick about 5 yards away from his penalty box. Win catching that again, so it's gone out of play for a throw-in about midway into Taunton's half. Yeah, thank you to those who are tuning in, by the way. Apologies about the sheer volume of this wind. So throw in to Taunton, which is taken by Chamberlain, aiming for Jarvis, who does control the ball. Been doubled up on by Thomas and Donaldson, but he's managed to find Chamberlain. And now the ball is on the left with Bell. Got AC in support, crosses it in, Bell, headed away by Dean Inman. Ravan gets there first, and George Hunt is penalised there for a late challenge on Rabbi Talmin-Zamba. It was a bit unfortunate for Hunt. He was looking to boot the ball away, and then just round the outside, Talmin-Zamba got in there first, got his foot on the ball, and then was booted in the back of the leg by Hunt.
Certainly seems like Taunton have gained a bit of composure since that break. They've realised that they need to try another way of getting forward, and so far what they're trying is certainly working better for them than those opening stages, and got a dangerous free kick here now.
Yeah, it's a free kick in a slightly left of central area, about 5 yards outside the Hampton and Richmond box. Only number 11, Ben AC, is stood over the ball. And well, with the wind in his favour, it would not be, I think it'd be in good mind just to give this ball a good smack. 5 in the wall for Hampton and Richmond, if you include Ben Seymour waiting to charge down any layoff. It's going to be AC who takes it, well blocked there by the wall. Ball is now in the danger zone though. Oh, and it's at the back post, but Jordan Thomas was yanked to the ground there by Jarvis. How many times does he need to make a foul, Jarvis, before he's disciplined? So, but anyway, it is a free kick to Hampton and Richmond inside Adam Desbois' penalty box.
Elsewhere in the National League, there has been an equaliser at Bath City. It's now 1-1. Tunbridge Angels pulling one back in that game, and that gives Hampton and Richmond a slightly more comfortable cushion.
Yeah, a bit more breathing room, yeah.
Indeed, so Bath City currently on 67 points in 7th, Hampton and Richmond on 71 in 6th.
Well, we are in the final minute of the opening 45 at Beverley Stadium. Hampton and Richmond 1, Taunton Town 0 is the score. We'll we'll probably have a little bit of stoppage time, not a huge amount, I suspect, but well, the way the game is currently going, I think Hampton Richmond will be happy to get in the get down the tunnel, because Taunton Town they've been having a good spell ever since that stoppage for that brief knock for Rory Donaldson. Hampton Richmond do have a throw-in deep into their half on the left though. It's with Thomas, who's got Bloomfield, Donaldson and Deadfield in support. He's looking to find Bloomfield, and it's actually gone straight out of play there. Again, that was the win. There was nothing wrong with the technique. And well, Thomas has actually been allowed to take it again. The referee and his assistant ruling that it didn't even go in play. Ball is definitely in play now with Seymour. He's tackled though. And Jake Gray has it, but he just heads it out of play for a throw into Taunton, just inside the Taunton half. Dolman throws it down the line towards Jarvis. Thomas gets it, cries for a handball, but the referee and his assistant didn't see it. And well, it's 2 added minutes there. Alan Julian, recently retired Alan Julian, holding up the board there. So it's a throw-in on the Taunton right with Dolman. Oh, and it's crossed in to the box. Jake Gray heads it away, only as far as Jarvis though, who bulldozes his way in, takes out Pip Blado as he makes the clearance. Still not fully away for Hampton Richmond. Deadfield gets his head onto it. It's good pressure by Taunton. Dean Inman then gets a toe on the ball, but Taunton are now back in possession. Good tackle by Bloomfield, and now Hampton Richmond may start a counter-attack. Gray is dispossessed, so it's now with Zach Bell on the left-hand side. Got a man on the overlap. It's cross first time. Well intercepted by Pip Blado. Out for a throw-in. Yeah, just about out for a throw-in. Dominic Revan tried to hook the ball back in play. So Taunton are applying the pressure late on in this first half. Still got a minute of stoppage time to play though. But Zach Bell will look to launch this in the box. Plenty of bodies inside. The throw-in is headed away by Deadfield. It's AC who will retrieve it though. He looks to get across him, but Gray is holding him up. It is brought in now, the cross. Oh, and it is Stern. Well tackled there by Donaldson. That was a crucial challenge. Taunton are still looking for a route back in. It's crossed in by James now, or it's headed away by Bloomfield. But onto the loose ball is number 19, Callum Dolman. And well, Taunton are level. It may not be fully deserved, but they have looked very, very good ever since that stoppage in play. And well, that is the cruel beast of football. Hampton Richmond well on top in this first half, but it's going to be 1-1 at half-time. It's Hampton and Richmond 1, Taunton Town 1.
Hampton and Richmond will certainly be ruining those chances that they failed to put away early on in this first half. They had a number of them and they couldn't quite find that second goal, and now they've been made to pay. A change of momentum in this match, and Taunton Town have been the more clinical of the sides with the chances they've been given.
Yeah, a bit deflating that, but should be only a few more seconds of the first half, and then Mel Gwinnett will be able to say his piece to his players. As play does resume again, Dean Inman playing it long towards Bloomfield, who controls it with his shoulder, and the referee has now blown for half-time. Well, a very exciting first half, and it's 1-1 because just a few moments ago, Callum Dolman equalised with a very composed finish from close range after the ball very kindly broke for him inside the box. Hampton and Richmond were well on top in this first half. They took the lead on 12 minutes through a very well-finished header by Ben Seymour. Great cross from the left by Isaac Biblado to Hampton and Richmond's number 9. Hampton Richmond had plenty of chances to extend their lead. Dominic Revan, his shot, which wasn't caught very well, was spilled by the Taunton goalkeeper Dan Lavercombe and had to be put behind for a corner. Mason Bloomfield then had 2 chances in quick succession. Well, it was in the same move. He got met a cross from the right. It was well saved by Lavercombe, and then Bloomfield put the rebound wide of goal with Lavercombe all at sea. And then there was a bit of a stoppage in play, Rory Donaldson needing some treatment, and then Taunton Town really responded well after the play restarted. They had a good chance through their number 9, Nat Jarvis, his cross-come shot going just wide. And as I mentioned, in the final moments of that first half, Callum Dolman drilling them level. And that's how it is at half-time. Hampton and Richmond 1, Taunton Town 1. And yeah, Laura, if you could take us through the scores across the National League South, please.
Certainly. So I'll focus on the games around us.
Yeah.
But currently Chelmsford are drawing 0-0 in second place. Worthing currently leading Yeovil Town away 2-0. So a very good result for them and a shock at the top of the table. Braintree Town currently 0-0 with Weston-super-Mare. They're away at Weston-super-Mare. That game is currently 0-0. Maidstone United versus Farnborough. Farnborough at home in that clash. That's currently 0-0 too. A big game potentially for the playoffs. Maidstone United currently in 5th and Farnborough in 8th. So an important result either way for Hampton and Richmond. Hampton and Richmond, of course, drawing here 1-1 with Taunton Town. Bath City are currently tied 1-1 against Tunbridge Angels after that equaliser from Tunbridge. And St Albans City currently 1-0 down. 1-0 down, sorry, to Chippenham Town. And they're all the fixtures that concern Hampton and Richmond at the moment. That leaves Hampton and Richmond in the same position they were at the start of this match, in 6th place on 69 points currently, obviously gaining a point from this draw at the moment. Sorry, just being knocked off my perch here.
Sorry about that, Laura. I'll try and catch you next time.
I think mainly that the only real movement in that playoff positions at the moment is Worthing, who have gone 2-0 ahead at Yeovil.
Okay, so a lot of interesting score lines from across the division. It's 1-1 here at Beverley Stadium. We and Laura, we're just going to have a quick break, try and get some respite from this wind as well. And, don't go anywhere because it's an intriguing game here at Beverley Stadium. It's Hampton Richmond 1, Taunton Town 1.
Well, it's half time here at Beverley Stadium. Hampton and Richmond 1, Taunton Town 1. And joining me for a little half-time interview, I've got Jack King here from Hampton and Richmond's under-10s. Jack, how are you doing this afternoon?
Good, you?
Yes, I'm very well, Jack. Thank you very much for talking to me at half-time here. So I believe, if I'm correct, earlier this week you were at Gen Football with our young stars Josh Annifer-Wose and Alex Gibson-Hammond.
Yeah, that's right.
Just tell us, what was that like?
It was really fun just seeing them show off their skills, and it was like a showcase. We had one of the people going down to help actually had some records, what was holding world records was on the icon, the thing we were doing, so that was really cool as well. It was really fun and technical as well, and all of them key skills like passing, looking where the next target is and that.
Yeah, that must have been so fun to see our players do that and just to join in with them. That must have been so fun, Jack. I'm very jealous I couldn't go myself. So I've been asking a lot of people this afternoon, Jack, and what's your favourite thing about coming to Beverley Stadium?
I'd say it's probably coming down with my mates, enjoying the game, and sometimes even just singing some chants with them.
Yeah, no, it is really good fun to come down here on match day. And then another question I've got for you, Jack, is what's been your favourite moment this season for Hampton and Richmond?
I've got to say, me and my mum came down for the Eastbourne match. Loved it. When we scored, that was my favourite.
Yeah, no, Hampton and Richmond, that was a very good game for Hampton and Richmond there. And then, obviously, it is half-time here, and Hampton and Richmond find themselves drawing here at the moment, Jack. How have you enjoyed that first half?
I think we've been probably the most dominant side here. They've gotten themselves a pretty lucky goal in the dying moments of the first half, sorry. So, I think we should be able to come home with the 3 points. If not, a draw. It's all right, but hopefully the win for the Beavers. We're shooting that half now, so yeah.
Yeah, we absolutely are, Jack. Yes, Hampton and Richmond look to try and solidify themselves in the playoff spots this afternoon here. Jack King, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you.
Thank you. The old signal to let me cut in so I know when to start chatting.
Is it going to be okay with the wind?
Oh yeah, it should be fine with the wind. So everyone, thank you very much for joining me again at half time here at the Beverley Stadium. It's Hampton and Richmond 1, Taunton Town 1, and joining me in this half time interval here, we've got Alfie Whittingham, who's just returned back to Hampton and Richmond on returning from his loan spell at Hampton and Waterlooville. Alfie, how are you doing this afternoon, sir?
I'm very well. How are you, mate?
Yeah, very good, very good. No, great to have you back, Alfie. As everyone knows, you are a bit of a fan favourite here. What was it like being away for Hampton and Richmond for a period of time? Was it good to get some minutes in the tank for yourself down at Havant?
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed myself. Playing every week is always sort of gives you that confidence and that morale. So yeah, I really enjoyed my time away.
Yeah, no, fantastic stuff. I mean, Hampton and Richmond find themselves drawing at the moment. How do you reckon that first half has gone for us so far?
I thought the boys done well. I think a bit of better game management for the last couple of minutes, and we would have been okay. But I thought the boys have had a good first half, yeah. Yeah,
no, absolutely, yeah. And hopefully you'll get yourself on for the second half. I mean, Alfie, yeah, no, it's good to have you back here at Hampton and Richmond. Obviously, you know, you've been with us for a lot of the season, then you go away on a loan spell to Havant and Waterlooville. Yeah. I mean, what are you hoping to achieve towards the end of the season? Just to get yourself more minutes here?
I'm just happy to be back with the boys. Hopefully I can help towards us securing playoffs and then help in the playoffs as well. But yeah, happy to be back with the squad. Happy to be on the bench. Yeah. And looking forward to getting involved again, yeah.
So Hampton and Richmond find themselves in the playoff spots at the moment. Do you think Hampton and Richmond can do it? Do you reckon we can get the playoffs?
Absolutely, yeah. The squad's strong enough. Even today, you've got 3 or 4 boys left out that are like brilliant footballers. So the squad depth is amazing now. Like myself, the reason why I left was I couldn't get in the squad. So that's what makes a successful team, is having a deep squad. And Mel's very good with his tactics, so I'm sure next couple of games they'll secure the playoffs, definitely, yeah. Yeah,
no, that's good stuff, Alfie. One more question from me that I've been asking all the fans around the ground this afternoon.
Not about my girlfriend.
No. Won't be bringing up the girlfriend this time, everybody. No. What's your favourite thing about coming to the Beverley?
The Bev? What's my favourite thing about coming to the Bev?
Scratch your head a little bit.
There's many things.
There's too many, isn't there?
To be honest.
Yeah.
Do you know what? From this year, it's been the pizza oven.
Yeah, no, to be fair, Hampton and Richmond have got a lot of food offerings here, and a lot of fans have said that as well.
The pizza is brilliant.
And one of the key things I think I've heard from the fans as well is just that community feel I think the club has.
Sorry, not the food, yeah, the community, yeah. The community, but the food's great as well, and food and community together is perfect combo. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And Alfie, I want to let you get back to your warm-up,
Thanks, mate.
And hopefully we'll see you in the second half.
Lovely to chat to you.
Alfie Whittingham, pleasure to chat with you.
Yeah,
Take care.
Thank you.
Well, welcome back to our YouTube watch along of the National League South fixture between Hampton and Richmond and Taunton Town. Players are both back on the pitch, still waiting for the start of the second half, and the score is Hampton and Richmond 1, Taunton 1. Hampton and Richmond started the better of the two sides. Ben Seymour opening the scoring on 12 minutes with a very nice header from close range, but on the stroke of half-time, Callum Dolman equalised for the away side, and it was somewhat against the run of play because Hampton and Richmond created a number of good openings to try and extend their advantage. Dominic Ravan having a shot which was just about kept out by the goalkeeper Dan Lavacombe, and then Mason Bloomfield having a double chance in the same spell of attack, but he couldn't quite put it into the back of the net. And well, Taunton, they did finish the first half strongly after a brief knock for Rory Donaldson in the final few minutes of the first half, and well, Taunton, they've been ruthless in front of goal, so it is level pegging at the start of this second half, which is a few seconds away. And before the referee blows the whistle, just your overall thoughts on that opening 45, Laura?
I think overall it looked really positive for Hampton and Richmond. I thought it was a really good performance, and it's just a real shame that we conceded what was probably a very scrappy goal in the closing stage of that half. It was, as you said, certainly against the run of play, and quite a shock maybe perhaps. Taunton Town are the second worst attacking record in the league, only 41 goals for them this, well, 42 now this season. Dover, obviously the bottom team in the league, only the team that are worse. So disappointing for Hampton and Richmond to concede that goal, but certainly plenty of positives to take into this half now.
And now the referee just conducting his final checks, and off we go in this second half. 1-1 between Hampton and Richmond and Taunton Town. The ball went straight out of play for a throw into the Beavers, which will be taken by Ravan. And he found Bloomfield, and then it came off a Taunton player again for another throw in just a bit further on for Ravan to take on the right. His throw goes above Bloomfield. But it's another throw in to the Beavers, this time inside Taunton's half, about 5 yards into it. Ravan takes it again, and Bloomfield was being held there by Gall. And now George Hunt making the tackle there on Bell, but only out of play for a throw-in to the away side. And Bell looks to throw it down the line towards Stern. But Dean Inman now has the ball, and he's looking to shepherd it out of play, but Jarvis keeps it in well. Number 11, AC, now has it. He's been held up by Ravan, though. And then AC just miscontrols it out of play for a throw-in to the Beavers. Well, Jarvis, he got away with one or two crafty fouls there, but he did well there, showed great strength to get around Dean Inman and keep the ball in play. There's a bit of a scrappy opening minute and a half to this second half. The ball not really escaped from that flank of the pitch to Hampton and Richmond right. It's another throw-in to the Beavers, which is taken by Ravan over Bloomfield, and it does drop out of play for a throw-in to Taunton. The wind is still very much a factor in this game. Hampton and Richmond have it behind them in this second half, shooting towards the Keith Hussey stand in the second half. Ball is now back in play, and here's Deadfield. Now the ball is in a central area with Pep Blado, now on the left with Jordan Thomas, and he finds Rory Donaldson, who had a great chance just after Seymour's goal to make it 2-0. His ball down the line is met by Thomas, but he puts it out of play for a throw-in to the away side.
Hampton and Richmond will hope to press this one in. I expect win it back high up the pitch, but of course Dolman does have that long throw on him.
He does, and he puts it to good use there. Hampton and Richmond do win it back. Ben Seymour might get onto it, but Gall does hook the ball away. I think I saw one or two drops of rain. Well, I didn't see, I felt them hit me. So that's another factor to weigh up in what is a finely poised game. 1-1 is the score, 48 minutes on the clock. Taunton are now on the ball with AC. Plays out left to Stern. Back to Cameron Evans. There's a great crossfield ball. Well, the wind held up, so Thomas was there to make the header. Now Deadfield plays it to Gray, flicks on towards Seymour. Gall gets there first with the header though. And Lloyd James goes down. I think that's a bit of a harsh decision on Sam Deadfield. Free kick has been taken quickly. Referee, no. He orders it back to where the alleged foul actually took place, about 10 yards into Hampton and Richmond's half in a left of central area.
Yeah, I think some harsher challenges has certainly not been called up the other way around, but there are swings and roundabouts in football with these decisions, but it certainly felt like a light call.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, it's going to be James who went down, who will take this free kick, drills it into the box. It's headed by Pip Blado, and Desbois punches it away. And well, the referee has spotted an infringement, and the Taunton bench are pretty incensed, and I think they have good mind to. I didn't really see any foul there, but then again, the initial free kick, I didn't see a foul there. So, as you say, Laura, swings and roundabouts in football. So, free kick, which will be taken by Adam Desbois. Plays it long towards Bloomfield, who is favourite to get there. He does get the header, but Deadfield doesn't quite get to the ball. Now the ball is on the left, trying to find Rory Donaldson, but it's gone straight out of play for a throw-in to Taunton, deep into their own half. So it'll be taken by their goal scorer, Callum Dolman. No changes made by either manager at half-time. Mel Gwinnett has the likes of Rob Hall and Alfie Whittingham and Alex Gibson-Hammond, and even, Josh Hannaford-Woes. Plenty of attacking options for Mel Gwinnett on his bench this afternoon. It's only in defence where Hampton and Richmond are a bit light. Isaac Pip-Blado filling in at centre-back. And it is John Thomas at left-back today, making a run down the line. And, well, the ball last came off a Taunton player, so Hampton and Richmond have themselves a pretty cheap corner on the left-hand side. Just over 50 minutes played at Beverley Stadium. Inman and Pip-Blado have made their way into the box. Bloomfield is in there, as are Rory Donaldson and Ben Seymour. Jake Gray is going to take the corner. He takes it, aiming for Inman, headed away by Gall. Hunt then hooks it back into play and takes a shot. Just a bit too far over the bar to get the goalkeeper Lavercombe worried, but that was good play there by Hampton and Richmond's number 12.
Certainly was. I think the build-up to queue up his shot was certainly fantastic there. He had pressure from a player, just cut it back inside, found the space for himself, and sadly couldn't quite direct that shot goalwards. But it's more promising for Hampton and Richmond in a second half that has started off with not quite the same excitement or pace as that first half did.
And the goal kick goes straight out of play for a throw into Hampton Richmond on the halfway line, taken by Ravan. And he finds Bloomfield, who's been having his shirt pulled, and the referee's assistant has spotted. Oh, he's given the free kick the other way. Wow, okay. I don't know how that's happened. Bloomfield had a large chunk of his shirt being pulled there by the Taunton defender Gall, but for some reason, unbeknownst to me, and well, I think Laura is, Laura, you're shaking your head as well. Taunton have themselves a free kick. I don't know what else to say to that, to be honest. Anyway, free kick has now been taken by Lavercombe. Headed away by Inman. Deadfield helps it on. Hooked back in by Bell. And that was a handball by Jarvis, which the referee just has let go.
I wish
now he's given the free kick, but it went out of play for a goal kick anyway.
I wish I could offer some explanation on this.
Oh, no, so Deanan was fouled on the byline, right. So it's a free kick to Hampton and Richmond there, not where Jarvis quite clearly handled the ball.
It was one of the most blatant handballs I've seen, is both hands raised above his head, almost as though he was taking a punt in volleyball at the net. Yeah,
that's exactly what it was. Yeah, you do wonder where the referee was looking there. Anyway, Desbois plays it long up that right flank, but it's just a bit too far over Jake Gray, so it's a throw-in to Taunton on the left-hand side, about midway into Taunton's half. It's thrown in towards Jarvis, headed out of play by Ravan and back into that school behind us in the gantry. It might take a while for that ball to be returned because, of course, it is the Easter holidays. But we do have another one as spare. The throw-in will be taken by Bell about 10 yards into Hampton and Richmond's half on the Taunton left. It's thrown into the box. He's got some arm, Bell. Now it's a shot taken by Stern. Oh, Hunt now gets it. And Taunton have been given a free kick. It was number 12, Rabbi Talman-Zamba, who was caught by Sam Deadfield. Free kick to the away side about 15 yards into Hampton and Richmond's half in a left of central area.
Fairly sure I saw a Taunton handball again in the build-up as Hunt not to clear that, but there we are.
It's going to be their captain, James, who takes it, clips it in at the back post, headed in the danger zone. Piplado hasn't cleared it away, and it's got out of play for a goal kick. Well, there's a bit of a scramble there in the box, and it in the end fell rather fortunately for the Beavers. And well, we're going to see our first change of the afternoon, and it's going to be from the away side. And it's number 18, Marcus Day, who's going to come on for 11, Ben Acey.
Acey has caused some problems for Hampton and Richmond. He's been good at like switching it and causing some problems off the wing, but I think getting some fresh legs on might be the way forward for Taunton.
Yeah, no changes made by Mel Gwinnett so far. 55 minutes on the clock. Hampton and Richmond 1, Taunton Town 1. There's Adam Desbois, takes the goal kick long towards Ben Seymour, just outside. Oh, and it's Bloomfield who's in. Bloomfield has a chance. Oh, and well, it was well gathered by Dan Lavacombe. Just a slightly heavy touch from Bloomfield. Desbois got a lot of distance on his goal kick and it fell to Bloomfield, but Lavacombe got there first before Bloomfield could take a shot.
Have to praise the goalkeeper Lavacombe there as well, just to take it off the feet of Bloomfield when he was coming at some pace. But another chance for Hampton and Richmond that's just been missed there.
Jake Gray intercepts a pass down the line on the Taunton left, so it is a throw-in to the away side. About 20 yards into Hampton and Richmond's half. It's going to be taken by number 2, Zach Bell, who is on loan from Bristol City, and he was on loan at Yeovil Town, the runaway leaders at the start of this season. Great throw-in by him again. And it was headed by Stern, but only up straight into the hands of Desbois, who takes his kick very quickly indeed, and it's headed away by Gall. Gray gets on to the second ball. Now is Dominic Ravan on the right-hand side. And here's Deadfield, clips it towards Seymour. And Taunton do deal with it very effectively, and Bloomfield is then penalised for a challenge on Talman-Zamba. So it's a free kick to Taunton, midway into their own half. Taken quickly, it's on the right with Ollie Chamberlain. He gets past Rory Donaldson. He plays it back to James, who's seen plenty of the ball in this game. He has it again and plays it out right towards a substitute, Day. But he's beaten to the ball there by Jordan Thomas. It's gone out of play though for a throw-in to the away side, deep into Hampton and Richmond's half. And it's going to be their throw-in taker-in-chief, Zach Bell. Plenty of bodies inside the box. 6 players for Taunton are in there. Bell now throws it in, headed away by Rory Donaldson, out to Seymour, but it bounces just over him. There's a bit of head tennis going on in that middle third of the Hampton and Richmond half. Now they've got the ball on the floor with Jake Gray. Plays it to Sam Deadfield in a right of central area. Revan is there on the overlap. Revan now has it. Takes a touch here. Now might get the cross in. Does so. And it's just over Bloomfield. Headed behind by number 12, Rabbi Talman-Zamba, for another corner to Hampton and Richmond.
Really got to hope that Hampton and Richmond can start making these corners and these chances pay. There has been a bit of a sting taken out of this game, and it's almost like the substitutions really might make a difference if Hampton and Richmond can't get a goal here, just to add a bit of pace, add a bit of something different, because both teams cancelling each other out at the moment.
Corner was taken short to Jordan Thomas, and he was tackled there, and well, there was a good challenge there by George Hunt, because there was a very menacing counter-attack in the offing there for Taunton Town. Yeah, I think you're right, Laura, about the sting being taken out of the game, because ever since Ben Seymour put Hampton and Richmond in front, Hampton and Richmond were electric for a good 20 minutes, and then they were just pegged back by that stoppage in play, and Taunton Town did very well in the final 5 minutes, managed to get that goal, and well, that's where we find ourselves. Still 1-1 between Hampton and Richmond and Taunton. We're coming up to the hour mark. It's Taunton on the attack with Bell just outside the box. Now here's Day. He's well tackled by Dean Inman, but it's gone out of play for a corner kick to the away side on the left. It's going to be taken by their captain, Lloyd James. Not too many tall players in the Taunton ranks, but lots of strong players, including Jarvis, who's in there. Corner has now been taken, and it's gone over everyone. Desbois should be there to collect it. Well, he actually boots it out of play for a throw-in to Taunton, just inside their own half. Oh no, actually the ball went out of play quite far into Hampton and Richmond's half. So it's a throw-in to Taunton on the right, be taken by Dolman.
Not particularly put to Hampton and Richmond, but Chelmsford have gone 1-0 ahead against Slough Town. They're of course currently in second place.
Yeah, I think Chelmsford have that second spot pretty well sewn up. Still some time left in the season, and still time left this afternoon at Beverley Stadium, as both sides try and look for what would be a pretty precious win in their respective attempts to progress. Dean Inman was forced to head the ball out of play there for a corner on the left-hand side, so Taunton have another chance to try and take the lead in this game.
Don't want to be giving Taunton too many opportunities like that. We've seen what they can do in scrappy situations, as they did in the first half.
Yeah, it's going to be James taking it on the left. He now puts it in the mixer, headed away by Inman, only as far out as Zach Bell, who will play it in first time, headed away by Deadfield towards Ben Seymour, but he is just beaten to the ball, so Taunton still in possession. That's a good ball by James, but Desbois out of his goal very quickly, and now he looks to kick it long very quickly towards Seymour, who should get there first if the wind doesn't take the ball out of play. Seymour's kept the ball in play, but he's now tackled by the number 12, Talman-Zamba, and his clearance is then blocked by Seymour, out of play for a throw-in to the away side, deep into Taunton's half.
I do think Talman-Zamba has looked very good today. He's generally be the one to break up the Hampton and Richmond attacks, and again they're tracking back superbly to stop Ben Seymour from gaining any advantage of that long ball.
Throw-in will be taken by Zach Bell. The wind very much against him. He still gets good distance on that ball. Hunt then heads it. Ball now at the feet of Jordan Thomas in the centre circle. Now here's Hunt. And here's Revan on the right-hand side. Got a few options going forward. Goes around the outside of Talman-Zamba, plays it down line to Jake Gray with that pass. It didn't have a lot on it, but the wind really just like zoomed it out of play almost. So it is a goal kick to Taunton. Jake Gray with 5 goals this season, 7 assists to his name as well, meaning he's only behind Ben Seymour. Him and Sam Deadfield are tied for assists in second. Goal kick is now taken. Dean Inman goes down following a challenge by Jarvis. And well, the away side have been given a free kick. Sam Deadfield penalised for a challenge on Jarvis. Dean Inman is still down though on the ground. And he has been given, yeah, Dylan Hall has been given clearance to go and see to Inman. Inman is back on his feet though, so I don't think he'll require that treatment. He's still holding his face a little bit. But this is a free kick for the away side in a pretty dangerous area, about 35 yards from goal, a left of central area. This will be whipped into the box most likely by captain Lloyd James. And he drills it in instead, and it's a header met by Jordan Thomas, out of play for a corner kick to Taunton on the right-hand side this time though.
James has been pretty faultless with those deliveries. Nigh on perfect each time, just hovering almost in front of that line, but no one's been able to get on them so far.
Yeah, you can absolutely see why. He's got over 350 appearances in the EFL. And James takes it, still in the box. It's with Chamberlain, well tackled by Jake Gray. George Hunt then plays it out, but Taunton will try and launch another attack. Not with a stray pass like that though. Desbois now has it, plays it long towards Ben Seymour. It's headed away by Bell. Dolman will then hook it back into Hampton and Richmond's half, but it's only as far as Jordan Thomas, who has the ball in a left of central area. Plays it back to Inman, seems to have shaken off that collision with Jarvis. Now is Pip Blado. Plays it back to Adam Desbois, who's got Rory Donaldson in support down the left. Goes long towards Bloomfield Desbois, but it's a bit too far for Bloomfield, and I thought I was going to bounce over Dan Lavercombe in the Taunton goal, but Lavercombe had it pretty well covered, and the ball is now in his hand.
For a moment, I was ready to celebrate an Adam Desbois goal.
Oh, well.
It was, yeah, slightly. He did have it under control. It was that moment where he didn't quite get it in his hand.
Now Jarvis could be in here. Tries to head it back to Stern. So the announcement is made, 752 inside Beverley Stadium this afternoon. Thank you to those attending. You won't hear us, but thank you to those who are attending. Thank you to those who are watching our YouTube watch along as well. 65 minutes on the clock. Hampton and Richmond 1, Taunton Town 1. The second half hadn't seen too many big chances.
Wind is giving us a bit of respite here as well.
You know, don't tempt fate. He'll be back with a vengeance, don't you worry. There have been one or two moments where it's been like that, but it then does come back. Ball is now with, well, it was with Taunton, but Ravan does get his head onto the ball, only as far out as Day. Now is Talman Zamba. There's Marcus Day on the left-hand side. He's got Bell in support and he uses him. Bell will look to get the cross in, does so. Headed away by Sam Deadfield. Bloomfield now has it. The ball did rebound off his arm, but referee does allow play to go on. And then Bloomfield just runs out of road in the end. So it's a throw-in to the visitors, just inside Hampton and Richmond's half.
Looks like there might be a substitution preparing for Hampton and Richmond.
Yeah, that looks like Shane Dunn coming on. Yeah, celebrated his birthday on Thursday. And well, the manager's player of the season for last season is just going to restore a bit of order in that midfield, hopefully. But that substitution has yet to happen. Here's Jake Gray midway into the Taunton half. Plays out left to Rory Donaldson, who's got a fair bit of space. Been held up by Chamberlain. Now Deadfield gets it in. Well cleared away by Dolman. Out for a throw-in to Hampton Richmond.
Ball somehow nestled in the middle of a floodlight.
Yeah, you think you've seen it all with regards to clearances, and then that happens. And yeah, now the change is going to be made, and no real surprises, I guess. George Hunt is coming off, and that was his first start in over 3 months. Good performance by Hampton and Richmond's number 12, especially in that first half, in that 20-minute period where Hampton and Richmond were all over Taunton Town. And I think that will see Sam Deadfield just advance a little bit more. Shane Dunn is typically a defensive midfielder, and there he is slotting into the centre, handing out some instructions to captain Jake Gray. It's a throw in to Hampton and Richmond on the left, sort of in line with the edge of the penalty box. Be taken by Jordan Thomas. Deadfield's the only one really shown in support so far. Now Ben Seymour makes a late run. Thomas has it back, gets the cross in, cleared away by Gall. Dean Inman is there to retrieve it on the right-hand side. He might try and get a cross in. Does get a cross. Oh, and it's headed away by Gall. Hampton Richmond still applying the pressure, though. It's Deadfield who wins a 50-50 very well and sets Ben Seymour away down the left. And here's Ben Seymour, gets across with his left foot. It's overhit, though. Can't find his strike partner, Mason Bloomfield. But that's a bit better from Hampton and Richmond, asking 1 or 2 questions of the away side.
Yeah, we're starting to see little flecks of what we saw in that first half here and there for Hampton and Richmond, and hopefully with a bit of a change in substitution, potentially a little shift in the system, they can apply some more pressure to Taunton. They've certainly got the goals in them from what we saw in that first half, and just need to get that momentum back.
Throw-in has now been taken by Bell, only as far as Jarvis, but it's gone straight out of play for a throw-in to the Beavers, just inside Taunton's half on the right. Ravan throws it down line towards Bloomfield, who gets a header now. But it's intercepted by a Taunton player. Again put out of play for a Hampton and Richmond throw-in. Ravan takes it quickly to Seymour, who cushions it down for Jake Gray. Now done his first touch of the game to find Seymour. Seymour just doesn't quite control it. Hampton Richmond do win it back with Sam Deadfield, who plays out right to Ravan. Crosses it first time, just behind Bloomfield though. And well, while the final ball is somewhat lacking for Hampton and Richmond, this is a bit better though from Mel Gwinnett's men.
Yeah, certainly it was a hit with some pace from Ravan off that right-hand side and couldn't quite find the players, but certainly more dangerous in and around the box, and no score updates at the moment from the rest of the National League.
Yeah, no score updates in this second half we can bring you. It's still 1-1 between Hampton and Richmond and Taunton, but Hampton and Richmond just growing into things in this second half. Jake Gray trying to find a pass out left, but it's well intercepted by Dolman, who then kicks the ball long towards Jarvis. Pitblado tries to beat him to the header. And well, Hampton and Richmond have themselves a free kick. I think it was Stern who was penalised there